Good evening, everyone, and good evening to all our virtual audience out there. This is our this edition of PSAI Talk Show. PSAI, Professional Speakers Association of India. Here, we are members of who is into speaking industries uh, in their own expertise, in their own niches, and we at PSAI we bring in members as a guest and project their niche and their expertise through this talk show. And once again, good evening, everyone. I want to start this talk show with a quote. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. And we have our special esteemed guest. Before I welcome the speaker, let me introduce the speaker for the day and today for today's evening. A housewife turned an entrepreneur, mother of two daughters. She empowers ordinary people to achieve an extraordinary life by helping them achieve self mastery and transform themselves into peak performers for reaching out to their dream life. As a difference maker in people's life, what drives her are two tiny questions. What needs to happen for you to achieve your dream goals? What is the change you are ready to make to achieve these goals? She's on a mission to empower individuals to on the journey of self mastery for personal and professional growth. She is none other than Rachna. To I welcome you to this edition of PSAI Talk Show.
Thank you so much, Darshni. Thank you, PSAI, for having me here and giving me this opportunity to connect and communicate a story, a journey that I have had, and I hope. I mean, a lot of people are probably listening to it and reading through it or going to watch it later. That they get some kind of an inspiration from me, and I would love to take this talk show ahead. And I'm happy to be here.
It's pleasure having you, ma'am. So, going forward, how did your exploration of self transformation start?
I think it started somewhere around, I think after becoming a mother of two and getting settled in my, private life, I simply thought, now what? Is it just two girls and the house that I'm going to take care? And, the life had actually hit a monotonous and autopilot mode, and I've always wanted to know that what can I do more, and I probably I don't want to blame somebody for what had happened at that point of time and thing, but the year 2005 was not so progressive here in Calcutta, and there were still families which were like little, accustomed to the old trends, and so it was like I had to choose to be a housewife. But the point was that giving birth to two daughters and wanting them to be self independent, how am I actually going to transcend in this entire thought of independence, entire thoughts of being financially independent, capabilities, smart, and outgoing? How can I do it while I myself was timid, probably somewhere at the back of every group and not talking at all? So that's so today what you see me is absolutely uh, you know kind of a transformed person, and I took a chance on myself because it's better to be inspired than inspire and then be a role model to someone. So if you actually want to bring change, and like every time it is said, the necessity begins at home, the charity begins at home, so the change also happens at home. So I thought nobody else can inspire my daughter best than I can. And hence my journey as in from a mother to a transforming individual start. I didn't know where I will go. I didn't know what trajectory I would take, but I just knew that I have to go out and I have to teach my children both to create a balance between work, family, and there is nothing that woman cannot have it all, because it is always told that darling, you cannot have it all, but I always wanted to tell it to people that if you make right choices and if you are able to make that choice and run after it, you can always have it all.
Yes, I think it starts with taking that first step and taking that chance and the opportunities which comes your way. I think that's where everything starts as from on the journey onto your transformation. So going to the next part of it, how did your journey or how did your transition start from being a housewife and becoming a psychologist and an entrepreneur?
So before even I actually thought of becoming a psychologist, I started to do something from home. I used to design kids wear. I was designing kids wear in 2011 and 12, and it was happening fine. I was having a kind of break even, not very profitable business at that point of time, but in that entire process, I learned was that I was timid, I was shy, I was shy to tell people what I was doing, and even to ask for work or tell for work or market myself, I didn't know anything. I just thought that I want to start up something. I found a place, had to design stitching people come and stitch clothes for me, and I was doing kids wear. In 2005 in Calcutta, people would not spend on kids wear. I was way early for the thought of it, and I probably didn't know how to make it more cost effective or something like that. So I started doing a lot of other things along with it. I opened up a bespoke design studio for people, and I used to do it. So I was very, very involved in it. But what happened was, I think I hit a snag where I was struggling in a true manner of balancing home, work, and child all together. And I somehow didn't know how to do it because I wanted to be present everywhere and I wanted everything to be perfect, which was a huge mistake that I created. And I ended up closing that business down. And I said, okay, fine, let me just take a break and be there for my children and my family at certain point of time, uh, and then see what it is. So meanwhile, while I was doing all of this, and probably I left education in 2005. So it was already 2014. So 10 years after my education, I was thinking, what do I do? All the principles learned were not existing anymore. All the education learned was not making any more of sense. What do we do? So I was always a problem solver for people. So I simply went ahead and did my diploma in counseling, and I started doing with fingerprint analysis. I was very, very interested in taking care of education counseling for children, doing career counseling for children, and I started doing it. And I think when I moved ahead and took that journey ahead, I just understood that I am in love with psychology. So I went ahead, I did my postmasters in psychology, I did my NLP, CBT. There are many other therapy, programs that you need to do to become a psychologist, because I could not get my RCI registered because I was not doing a full time course. I was doing a part time master's. But this entire 4 years journey from 2014 to I think 17, 19, when I finished my master's, because it was a post thing. And then, no, I finished it in 2017. 3 years it took me to finish my master's. It is ideally for 2 years, but what happens is I was going through a lot and I could not give all my papers together. So I was giving, part by part, a group of papers by part. So that's what I did. And my research took me another year because I had to write a thesis. So I gave all my papers. It's just that my thesis took me another year. And all of this made me realize that if you actually want to follow your dreams and if you want to be who you are, the transformation is just not about today you are thinking, tomorrow you start doing. It requires blood, sweat, tears. It requires perseverance. It requires giving up. It requires facing the failures and then probably succeeding above all, I think. So it took me all of it, blood, sweat, tears, lots of them, to be who I am, probably. So, yeah.
Multi-talented from designing to psychology. You must have learned a lot of things, or you might have encountered a lot of challenging situations which must have turned you to the person who you are today.
Absolutely.
With all of this journey, how did you identify your niche here? This is what I want to do.
So to be honest, it's when you become a psychologist and you graduate, you just think that today I have got this certification and I'll go down to the world and I'll tell that, okay, here is it. I am certified. Now I am capable to take work. Start giving me work. This was the thought. Okay.
Okay.
But when I went out, because, and I think this realization didn't even hit me till I was doing work with other, doctors and other, I was associated with doctors and the others around me. I was, connected with all of them and I was working. So it did not hit me all there because I was not bothered. Customers were coming, the referrals were there, the doctors used to refer. I was working in a company, it was company's job to get the customers. All I had to do was to counsel. But I thought it's enough is enough. I need to go out, go solo, not be into that 9 to 5 job, and take a break from all of it and then do it. I went out to the market saying I have the experience, I have this degree, and this is what is I'm going to do is to tell people that I'm a psychologist. Come start paying for me. And here is a shift that I understood was that the way you tell people that you're charging for what you do, they run away from the right and left hand side of yours. They just run away. So that was another stumbling change for me to understand that if you want to run a business, it's different. If you even want to run it as a solo entrepreneur or a solo person, it's going to be a huge difference. You need to be present because that is the time when I actually learned that jo dikta hai wo bikta hai. So that was something that if you're seen, if you're available, you will be market. You will be sold. And it is just not about being seen, it was about being more and more seen. So if you're continuously in people's mind, then only they will try and come to you. And hence, again, I started creating another. In order to be seen, I think I started networking, like, choosing everybody. Okay, so everybody, I always thought that psychology is everybody's problem. Everybody needs an emotional support. Everybody needs this. And that was my presumption, which was again one of my failures to understand it, or I would say a stumbling block. And I think when I started doing this, I didn't know who were, if I had any mentor by that time, I would know. So, people, when they want to become and choose a niche, today it's very easy. You go follow any of these mentors which are already doing so many classes. You can pick one, follow it, and go. That time also, these people had just mushroomed. And to get a right mentor, I never had one because, firstly, to be working was not acceptable. Secondly, to go out and work was also not acceptable. And thirdly, was a field like psychology where people would just run away saying, "Acha, tum to cheda de," they would simply say, you can read my face and tell me. So you become a fortune teller kind of a people. So it took me a while to let people understand that no, psychology is much more than just reading your face and being there. So discovering a niche is a process for everyone. So if you actually want to discover a niche, it is going to be a journey for everyone. In this entire journey, while I was, mentoring a lot of women would come, and the moment I start saying them, okay, fine, start choosing a niche for yourself, find out what really clicks with you, right? And then start working on it and start promoting it. But somehow, everybody was not interested. They said, no, I have this capacity. I will take this capacity and I'll market it to everyone. And I will tell everyone that I do this. And I will pick up whichever job comes to my place. So I have played a role of a trainer. I have played a role of, a motivational speaker. I've played a role of, I don't know what. I think I just mindlessly took up job which was giving me money. And I think that was the only driving force. And finding a niche only happened when I started to choose that what kind of work that I really enjoyed, A, B, what I'm really good at, and C, how it is going to give me payment and not let me work everywhere, and be, omnipresent and not do so. It was like I was being jack of all but master of none, which was not making sense. So it took me a while. I crafted a niche then. I said, who am I more comfortable working with? What is an area that I enjoy? What is it that I want to do? How do I want to impact people? So these are the few important questions that were there. You know, how can I maintain consistency in people? How can I do this? So there were two, three things which came up, and now I, rigorously work in two fields, and that is mental health. I still take patients. There are some which are referral patients, and they still do come to me. I do take referral patients. I do take women entrepreneurship because it's very close to my heart, and that's the only thing that I'm working on, and that's the way I want to, move ahead with. So it took me a while, but I'm settled, and it took me a while to even give up career counseling because I was doing it in, like, 4 or 5 years, and I just wanted to be there out there. But it took me a while to understand that no, I don't want to work with clinical patients. I want to work with certain kind of patients. I want to work with certain kind of people facing a psychological issue and wanting them to take a share. So I wanted to be that light in people. So that's how I became a psychologist and a life coach. And in that also, life coaching, I worked on self transformation because that is what inspired me. And getting to a niche, yes, Sushilji, getting to my niche is a process, and it takes sometimes in a year. It took me at least two, I think 2.5 years to discover as to what I wanted to do. So even for today, whoever is there out there wanting to craft a space for yourself, I think you get into the market, then you slowly trickle it down as to what works for you, and that's how your customers will also start flowing in. And believe me, I think when I started doing my Instagram lives and my podcast, I understood that there is so much that people need to learn. And that is, even if you're doing those same topics again and again, there is so many people still don't know about it. And even if people know about it, they need to be told again and again about it. So when I started doing these mental health topics on Instagram, I started doing relationship topics on Instagram. I think I got way amount of audience coming up and talking to me. So I had a lot of DMs in that space suddenly, and I didn't know what I was doing right or wrong, but I just thought, let's go Instagram live and let people do it. And my influence started growing, and I started getting more and more clients. And I thought, okay, this is working. Let's just start doing it. And I started doing more and more of it. So here was a lesson that if you discover something, hold on to it, keep it, be consistent, be there, and be present. That's all was needed to be in the niche that I am in.
Interesting. One opportunity leading to another, or one door leading to another opportunity, which we might not think can, will we be able to do it? We'll start questioning that also at times. So it's more of, taking up the opportunities which comes your way. I think that has been, you know, that's how you found out your niche, I think, with the conversation which you have been sharing with us.
Hmm.
Along with all of these things, what role does psychology play in achieving personal and professional success, and or how?
Oh, I think psychology has played a huge role in me because it helped me
Okay.
change my own mindset. It helped me change me. It helped me be, I was from an introvert, you know, I was an introvert person. So moving to an extrovert area to being able to come out and talk was not easy. To be able to be communicating, and specifically, Calcutta is a very small community and its place. So wanting to work, and as it is, I just don't want to bring it up, but I have to bring it up because the women representation is so low that everywhere you go, you will, out of 10 you will only find two women, out of 15 you will only find three. Still, the women representations is very, very low in every pretext and everywhere. It will take women to definitely come up, but I think what I've been doing and working in Calcutta now to get these women people to come speak, talk about what they're doing and share their journeys was easier because when you go among so there was one mindset that I was actually, very thing that I always thought that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough as the person standing next to me. I am not good enough because I did not come with a fancy education of IIM or IIT degrees. I had a master's, and that too also from a IGNOU University, which was distance learning. So I always felt that
Exactly.
I'm not good enough. So that was a huge, a blow that I had for my own self. So that psychology of myself and seeing myself not good enough had to change, which is very important. And then being perfect in whatever I wanted to do, that also had to change, because I think that led to procrastination, that led me to not take up challenges, that led me to be in my own shell and not move out. It took me a while to be where I am. So psychology, by studying, reading, meeting so many people, it made me change. And one important thing that I had was a dream, and that zeal to make an identity, and I still have it. To be honest, I still have it. And I had a huge purpose, and that purpose was to let my daughters feel very inspired by me. And believe me, these two girls in my life are my game changers. They have made me who I am today, just because I wanted to be that role model in their eyes and that active female in their life. I don't know whether I'm doing right by them every time doing this or not, but this is what I had in my mind, was that if I want to actually change things in their life, I have to become active. I have to pick up all the roles that I can, and probably have it all that I want to have achieve in my life.
Interesting story. And right, as you rightly mentioned, I think the paradigm shift, or the self talk which we talk to ourselves, I think that makes it makes our career, or choose doing our things in a positive manner. But that starts with all a positive self talk, or the way we interact even with other people also. I think that also plays a huge role.
Yes, it's very important that
Exactly.
so it's like, the story that you want the world to know, you firstly have to be convinced with that story. Part 1.
Exactly.
Part
Exactly.
2, what kind of a conversation and what kind of a light you see yourself, the world is also going to perceive you with that same lens. Nobody comes with a different lens. How you see yourself in that light, that's the same light which is going to come out from you. So if you see a darker light around you, you will have a darker world around you. If you see a whiter light around you, you will see a rainbow around you. It is just like, I am this. I love myself. The relationship with myself is very nice. I think I had huge complex. I even had my body image issues because I think I was fat, I was dark, and I was not worthy enough to go up and stand on the podium and talk, or be a speaker somewhere. So all this was like mental blocks. So I had to break one by one away, break each of them together, and each achieve success with all of them. I would not say that I'm 100% there. I am still shy to be in front of camera, shoot a reel, shoot a video. I am still shy to do this. But I think over a period of time, when you start doing the practice, and COVID came as a blessing in disguise. It has made me comfortable to speak with nobody in front of me, where I'm, even if I'm addressing hundreds of students or people, but it's made me comfortable in front of the camera. So that was a big blessing in disguise for me.
you know I think, yes, again, it is like breaking your own limiting belief, you know
Yes.
or what is the perspective we see the world in, or what is that lens we see the world. Are you looking in a positive way, or are you looking in a negative way, or whatever way you see the life as. So, coming to the next segment, or rather, next question, what are some effective strategies for maintaining our motivation and staying focused to our long term goal?
Uh, so there was this book which I'm always very inspired by, and that's book Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And there is this book called Psychology of Influence by Robert Kaldini. It is, there are two things. There is there is persistence, there is consistency, and there is discipline. So if you have three of them, even if you're a mediocre, even if you're, not a millionaire, but you will achieve what you want to achieve. Maybe it could be a little late, maybe you go at a total space, but if you're consistent, persistence, and have the right direction, all three of this with the right direction, you will definitely reach your goal. So which was very very important. And the importance of revising goal every time that you reach a goal, and making sure that you don't set a goal which is very unrealistic to achieve. It is not something that you will not be able to achieve, something that you think that, okay, tomorrow I want to just turn around and become, um, you know I want to become, one of the famous coaches, if I actually want to. So if I want to become Tony Robbins, right? It is not possible unless I take my fair share of small steps and create that little impact. So you will not become that sea of knowledge if you don't become the first stream of it also. So even if the river has to start, it has to start with an origin, and it has then only it ends into the sea. So for that, I would say persistence, perseverance, consistency, and discipline is very, very important.
Rightly said. I think, and adding to that, the what kind of story we have told ourselves in relation with our goal. Even that also plays a huge role here. It's not just about setting the goal, but do you itself believe to the story you have set to your goal?
Exactly, exactly. I think it's more about believing in the goal that you have, right?
Yes. Yes.
More about understanding that small steps that is required to even fulfill goal. Okay, so I will give you a very simple example. I've been trying to lose weight for last 5 years, and I haven't even lost 1 kgs out of it. Okay,
Okay.
the only time, every time I say that I've been achieving everything, why is it this that I cannot achieve? What is it? Is it the medical parameter? Is the physical parameter? Is this? And somehow I realized that I can't keep my mouth shut. I cannot keep my tongue tied. I love food. I have to understand that I am in relationship with food, and I love it to the extent that I will not say no to it. So it is very simple. You need to understand that the goal is not contrary to what you actually want in your life. So if the goals are contrary to what you're wanting to do, you really have to break your shells, change your habits, change the disciplined life that you want to live, and then achieve it. So sometimes these goals could be taking you out of your comfort zone, and probably you have to also build up that strength to move out of that comfort zone. Because there are only two ways: either you expand your comfort zone, or either you totally break them.
Yes. Right. I like the way you mentioned it. Either break it or expand it.
Yes.
Rightly said. Rightly said. Okay. So being an entrepreneur, being into coaching, now you are already a speaker. What are the activities you're doing on the journey of becoming a speaker, or entering into professional speaking?
Uh,
Maybe.
so I think the first step that I did was to join PSAI. All right, to be very honest, I loved speaking. I love being on stage. I love communicating what I want to do, communicate with people. And the only thing that I told is that to myself was, if you want to be perceived in a certain manner, it's a story that you have to tell. And I believe that everybody has a story to tell and share, but it is only the one with the capacity, capability, and the experience to move out of that space and go out and talk to people and the world and share the stories. You know, so somewhere I think I have it in me. I have spotted it in me, and I think I can go out and speak. So why not, if given an opportunity? And in fact, why given an opportunity? Create an opportunity. If you, I have a message because I really want to spread this awareness of mental health and being in positive health and being in well-being of mental health. Why not take this opportunities of forums, even if 10 people, or in fact one people, is listening to me right now and is feeling inspired? I think it's my job is done. I don't want you to take my image back, I just want you to take my message back. So importance is, if I or my message creates a difference in your life, my job is well done.
Yes. So, since, with whatever she mentioned right now, I am a regular. I regularly attend her live in Instagram live, and every time I step out of that live, I come out inspired. Every time when I attend her live, this is something which I want to share since this conversation is still on. Any message you want to give to the budding entrepreneurs or budding coaches who's coming up, or inspiring coaches coming up? You want to share any message for them?
Uh, I think if you are an entrepreneur, don't fall too much in love with your business. That's one of the hindrances that I've had with myself. Don't fall too much in love with your business. Make sure that you include a user's perspective. That's part two. And see, when you are a creator as an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur is the biggest creator, I believe. You really want to create everything. And what you need to know is that creating everything is good, but you also need to understand, are there takers for it? Is the market ready to take it also? Are you able to sell the concept? So, probably move out from that business perspective, go out and see, whether you are a coach, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are in any business form. Move out of that business perspective. See, as a customer, would you buy it for what you're wanting to sell it? And if the answer is yes, with that income and the pocket pinch size that you have, make sure that it will sell.
That was so powerful, what you said right now.
Thank you.
Um, any, moments which was very positively impacting in your career? Any, moments or any situations which is unforgettable, which stays in your heart? Anything like that?
I think there are two instances, basically. The first instance, when I actually decided that I need to change and I need to make a difference, because my girls were playing very simple game. They was playing house, which we call it ghar ghar in our in language. बच्चे घर घर खेल रहे थे. One was the man, the other was the woman, doing exceptionally imitating their parents in an absolutely awesome manner. You know, if you see it from the far, you will be like, oh my god, they are so lovely. They're looking so cute together also. But in the end of it, I just realized that they were exactly imitating something which was age old, and they had nothing to share. They had no inspiration in life. They were not talking that I have to have a career, or I am a businesswoman, I am doing my work and I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and I am capable, or I'm a sports person or something. They did not have. They were just little husband and wife playing out their roles, where it was every time she would come, open the bottle, open the car gate for me, open this for me. There is nothing wrong to it that if men do it. But what I want to say is, girls, times have changed. And if you want to be seen in a different light, forget about somebody coming and opening a door and a bottle for you. And I don't want to say that it means of physical capacity, it means in terms of your own inner capacity. Because today, if you understand that physical of urge of being able to open that bottle, no matter how much of strength it takes in, you will be able to break all the other barriers which are inside you also. That particular need to be that damsel in distress, when it opens up, you are always going to be that one fighter, that uh, you know uh, princess on the white horse to save somebody, rather than looking for a prince to save you there.
This is my takeaway for today. What made you join PSAI and your learnings from after joining PSAI?
Okay, so I will be killed to say this. Anupriya and Lokesh were two people who influenced me to join PSAI. All right, and I think it's 8 months of journey with PSAI today, and I think I haven't really attended or met too many people or have had so many conversations with them. But whatever I have, I think I was traveling. I met people in Mumbai, and they were very warm, welcoming, and it just made me feel that if you actually want to be speaker, you really need to know that what is a message that you actually want to spread across people. There are 100 people, 1,000 people, or 10,000 people, doing almost the similar thing that you want to do. How do you create your unique points? I think that what is, came in from PSI. I am still lagging on creating my show reels and my niches and topics and what I want to do with PSI. But it has at least given me a step into space where I can actually come, talk, share, and learn from the already, speakers like Nirja, Mr. Sushil sir, and there's so many more already here. I've just interacted with two or three of them, and I would love to, learn more. Even at this point of time, I don't feel, you know that I am there in that speaking journey, because I've just joined. I'm a very newcomer. I've been talking in terms and being, out of uh, you know courtesy, love of the language, or whatever. I've been out and speaking in places wherever I wanted to, but I've never thought it as a career and a money earning perspective. I think with that, all of it, I think PSI gives me that opportunity to open up, to be a speaker in a professional space, and be worthy to be paid enough for it. I think with that PSI comes that monetary, recollection of you can be a speaker, you can take money for and charge money for what you're wanting to do. So that's a little addition that I think has happened. I will not say that I'm at the journey and I've completed it completely. No, uh, I have, but I would surely say that I've started, and I think I have a year or two to be where I am. Maybe maybe it could be 6 months, it could be 7 months, because it is not really in my agenda at this point of time to put myself as a speaker there. But I think I would love to be there, out, and speak in front of the audience of thousands, and be inspired, uh, and be the inspiration that I could be.
Thank you for that wonderful words. Uh, if from the audience, if you have any questions to ask our guests for the day, please go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
I would only want to thank Sushil sir and all of the other people who've been actually commenting on down, and I could read few of the comments. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm looking forward to see you all in February, PSS 2024, and it would be awesome to learn, be inspired, and have a lot of lighting force around me as well.
Thank you. And I would, and finally, I would like to thank Rachna ma'am for coming and sharing your knowledge, your inputs, and your journey with us. Thank you so much for that. And we have come to the end of the session. So, and again, I would like to end the session with the same quote which I started. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. So, just take it one day at a time. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, all the virtual audience, and have a great evening ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.